Here's the full cinematic, first-person thriller you asked for. Tight, calculated, and laced with vengeance. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring, my parents said, as my sister pocketed my epilepsy pills again. Stop being so dramatic about your condition. I didn't argue. I let the words slide over me like cold rain. But when I collapsed in family court during our inheritance hearing, my body convulsing in front of the judge, the room went silent. The bailiff called for an ambulance. The judge demanded immediate medical intervention. And that's when they found the truth. I learned young that love in our house was conditional. My sister, Emily, was the favorite. Charming, golden-haired. Her laughter could shatter our parents' discipline like glass. Mine? Mine was tolerated. I was the delicate one, the inconvenience, the one who made everything harder because of the pills lined up on my nightstand. Emily figured out early that my weakness was leverage. Sometimes she'd borrow my medication, giggling about how she was just testing if I'd notice. When I'd call her out, our parents would shake their heads. "Stop being so possessive. You have more at the pharmacy." Possessive. That's what they called wanting to live. The betrayal wasn't sudden. It was a slow bleed. After our father died, his will became the battleground. A large estate, properties, accounts, enough to ensure no one in the family ever worked again. The reading was scheduled for a Tuesday morning in family court. 2 days before, Emily visited my apartment, smiled sweetly, asked about my health. I knew better. I had counted my pills that morning, 32. That night, after she left, there were 26. Not enough to last me to the hearing. Not enough to prevent what she wanted everyone to see. Me weak, unstable, incapable of managing an inheritance. I didn't panic. I planned. At dawn, I called my doctor, reported the missing pills, got a temporary refill, but I didn't take them. Not yet. Then I called my attorney and requested something unusual, that my medications be logged as part of the evidence if anything happened to me during the hearing. A quiet trap. The day came. The courtroom smelled faintly of dust and disinfectant. Emily sat across from me in a pearl blouse, her expression the picture of concern for anyone watching. Halfway through the proceedings, the dizziness hit. My chest tightened. My limbs turned heavy. I let it happen. The seizure came, violent and real, my body crumpling to the floor. Gasps. The gavel slamming. The paramedics rushed in, checking my vitals. My bag was opened, the empty pill bottle inspected. The lead paramedic's brow furrowed. "You're prescribed 32 of these a week. Why are there only 26? The judge's head snapped toward Emily. Her smile faltered. Protocol kicked in. Police backup arrived. A report was filed on the spot. My attorney, anticipating this moment, handed over the security footage from my apartment, the one I'd installed months ago when the thefts began. There she was, Emily, in my kitchen, sliding the pills into her pocket with the ease of long practice. The courtroom air changed, thick, electric. The judge's voice was ice. "Miss Hart, you are hereby suspended from these proceedings pending criminal investigation." Emily tried to speak, but the bailiff was already at her shoulder. The inheritance hearing resumed 2 weeks later, without her. The estate was split between me and several charities my father had supported. My attorney also filed civil charges for medical endangerment. Emily's freedom cost her every cent she'd saved. But the real victory was quiet. She now lives in a cramped apartment, working 2 jobs. Her friends evaporated when the court records became public. Sometimes I think about that moment in the courtroom. Me on the floor, the room spinning, her face just before it all fell apart. There wasn't fear at first, just confusion, then realization, then the collapse. Not of her body, but of everything she thought she had over me. People call what I did revenge. I call it proof. Because in my family, sharing wasn't caring. It was taking. and I simply taught my sister what happens when you take from me.